September 22nd, 2017. Welcome to the Philly Podcast. It's a football Friday. NFL picks are going to be coming today. Top 25 picks are going to be coming today. Let me just turn down my TV. So, those games. So, yeah, I'll be picking those games. Trying to figure out what to throw on here. Anyway, hold on a second. All right, my bad. So, so yeah, we'll get to those picks come the end of the podcast today, and it's the last time I'll be able to preview Eagles Giants until we talk. Well, the last time we'll talk about it till Monday. Obviously, hopefully, it'll be a victory Monday. But the more and more this game gets closer, the more and more jitters I get. The more and more, you start to feel like, well, the Giants don't have Bobby Hart, but Odell Beckham's a little bit more healthy, or Doug Peterson. I'm starting to get a little bit more nervous about this game. And how bad would it look if the Eagles lost this game? The Giants will explode. They'll get Beckham back in the next. Beckham will be 100% in the next 2 weeks, and it will just be as advertised going into the season. The Giants will be. So it will be a terrible loss if that were the case, but hopefully that's not the case. Everything goes right on Sunday. Hopefully, the Eagles, just bust through that offensive line. There's just a lot of commotion going up there in New York or New Jersey, whatever the hell you want to call it. But we have to get this win on Sunday. We have to get this win. That's one thing that I'm very nervous about, and I think since it's since how bad the Giants' offensive line's been, since how effective. Carson Wentz did have a pretty good game. On Sunday. Despite the loss and despite how many times he threw the football, he made the best of it. He only threw one pick. And that just came late in the game. But one thing that obviously concerns me and other Eagles fans and maybe people that are listening is the fact that Doug Peterson. I just saw it on when I was watching the news a little bit ago in the bottom ticker that Doug Peterson doesn't know who the starting corners are going to be, or the secondary. It's just going to be led by Jalen Mills and Malcolm Jenkins. They'll maybe throw in the Patrick Robinson. They have to figure out what they're going to have to do. But that might lead the Giants, Eli Manning, to throw some little dump offs, some slants to Beckham. But thing is, Beckham is not 100%. So what I'm trying to say here is yesterday, Tuesday, or yesterday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, I was pretty confident about this game. But now, maybe it's because, this is how I am. I just, I get a little nervous before, when, you're come within 2 days of the game. But, we'll see what happens. We'll see. The game, it's not until Sunday. A lot of stuff can happen. The Giants, they're pretty banged up. The Eagles are banged up in the secondary. The Giants, hopefully we can get to Eli Manning. Hopefully they don't really come up with some type of guru-type game plan where they can find a way to beat us. But, it will look. Listen, people that are going to the game Sunday are going to go there to see Carson Wentz play a divisional game at home in the home opener. I mean, Carson Wentz, I think, is the biggest thing is the biggest factor surrounding all these Eagle fans, and that's the number one player that they probably want to see on Sunday. And if he doesn't produce, he's just going to get so dissed in the city. And I think there's some pressure on him, but I think he's a pretty cool guy. I mean, it's not like McNabb, it's not like Vic, it's not like Foles. I mean, I think he might take this pretty well, and I think people like him here. But he has. He has to do his part. Because usually, if they don't deliver in these types of situations, they will just get ratted and ratted and ratted. So yeah. That's probably one of the number one. Especially if people are coming in from out of town, Eagles fans coming in from out of town, going to the game Sunday, they want to see Carson Wentz, and then there's probably a lot of people that haven't seen him yet, whether it was last year, this year, the preseason last year. So yeah, I was very fortunate to see him in the very first open practice last year, and then I saw him in his first preseason game action last year, and then this year I saw him in one of the open practices in the preseason game. So yeah, I have seen, and then I went to the Dallas game last year. So I have seen for my share of Carson Wentz. So, but people are going to be wanting. People are going to want to go and see him play division rival in a big rivalry game. Now, it's probably the game that people are most interested in the NFL this week. It's because you got an 0-2 Giants team going into Philly, coming down the link to play an Eagles team who, they look pretty good in their last 2 weeks. They collected a division win and they played tough at Arrowhead. But a lot of people are going to want to see this team play. And that a lot of people are going to want to see this matchup. I guess you could say it's a cool matchup. There's a lot of history between the Eagles and the Giants, as you guys know. With the two Miracle at the Meadowlands, with Chuck Bednarik absolutely destroying Frank Gifford. It's the fans are very close. Geographically close, so there's a lot of trash talk that goes up and down the New Jersey Turnpike. It kind of divides a state. But North Jersey's mostly Giant fans, South Jersey's Eagles fans, and then you got parts of Pennsylvania, which it kind of divides. Probably as you get towards, probably past maybe New Hope up north. Or maybe where it starts to become some Giants country. There's a lot of Giants fans probably up there and Yankees fans and stuff like that, and maybe in Scranton. So yeah, as you get north, towards New York, there's just a lot of Giants fans. I got a cousin that lives in the Lehigh Valley, and it's the Lehigh Valley, and there's Giants fans up there. So. It's a rivalry consistent on trash talk. You got New York, Philly, and Giants are the team. Well, it's really New Jersey, Philly. It's really because most of their fans are in Jersey. They got a few New York fans, obviously, but most of their fans are probably they're probably in Jersey. The ones I know that are in Jersey. Because they play in Jersey. They got everything in Jersey. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. People hate Dallas here. People hate Dallas game is the Dallas game. That's probably our Super Bowl or 2 Super Bowls every year. But when it gets to the Giants game, there's just probably more trash talk. When it gets to the, when we talk Eagles, Giants. And plus, also there's a lot of, I don't think a lot of Giants fans want to come down here because of our track record as fans. But there's some Eagles fans that, they'll go up to MetLife Stadium to see the Eagles play the Giants, and I'd love to go to MetLife Stadium this year, see that game. But tickets are obviously expensive. Um, so to the game, like I said, Bobby Hart was ruled out, so the Giants won't have him. There's still Eric Flower. I don't. What's the deal with Justin Pugh? He's gonna stay at Oh yeah, he's gonna play. He's gonna stay at tackle. I mean, he's riling. I mean, there's a whole thing here. Struggling behind Eric. He's right behind Eric Flowers. Eric. By the way, Justin Pugh. He's from Holland. That's the Holland from Bucks County, right? I think that's probably the Holland. Yeah, that's in Bucks County. So that's in the Philly area. Upper Southampton. That's kind of near Upper Makefield, that area. I used to play travel baseball up there, like towards that area. We used to play games. But he's a local guy. So Justin Pugh. So we hope the better. He's right near Churchville. Okay, that's probably. I think that's that might be out in the outskirts. So Justin Pugh is a local guy, so he's coming. It's kind of a homecoming for him. I hope we just shut him up. I hope we shut this whole freaking Giants team up. Please shut him up. I mean, just shut the Giants down. Anyway, so we'll have Justin Pugh. Justin Pugh, I thought he had some injury issues. Bobby Hart's out. Let's see about Janoris Jenkins. He's still questionable. Evan Ingram was cleared. He had a concussion. I think he went on the concussion protocol. So, I mean, that's the whole deal for the Giants. Apparently an ankle injury. So, I mean, Janoris Jenkins is still questionable for this game on Sunday. So that's still going to be a big loss. I mean, that will be a big loss. And plus, you saw what happened last week when they played the Lions. I mean, that was just I guess that was just probably brutal for them. But I mean, if the Eagles have it, it will be clutch if the Eagles can pick up this win. It will be clutch. Love to put this team away, like I said many times yesterday. Love to put this team away. Love to send them into Tampa Bay with an 0-3 record. And the Giants started out 0-6 in 2013, did they? 2013, 2014. They had a bad start to that year. They started out 0-6. I think I think it might have been the year 2013, Chip Kelly's first year. I remember we went up there and beat them. But I hope, I really just want to put this team away and then just focus on the other two teams. It makes everyone's life easier. And to be honest with you, I mean, as many Eagle fans would like to compete with the Giants for division. That's what we all thought going into the season. But in a way, I mean, you want to take that away. Like, you want to shove that. Like, if the Eagles have a shot at winning the division, I love to see Carson Wentz and Dak Prescott just battle. And I think Carson Wentz will win. I really do. I think Carson Wentz will win. Like, it will be the new Brady Manning, but with two historic rivals that have hated each other for about a good 40 to 50 to 60 years. It will be great. I mean, that's what I want to see. And the Redskins, they're shit. They'll end up being a 500 team. And plus, you saw the Cowboys with the Broncos. Like, they got killed by the Broncos. Zeke Elliott only got held to, like, under 10 yards. 10 yards or, less. Lost to a decent team. I think the Eagles will beat the Broncos in that situation. I love the Eagles. just take care of this on Sunday. Just take care of this freaking team. Why am I watching Penn State football inside Penn State football? Speaking of Penn State, they got a big game this week against Iowa. They got a big football game. Like, this is probably their test. This is Penn State's test. Going into Iowa, playing a night game. You know, we all know what happened in an Iowa night game last year. They lost. They beat Michigan. So that's probably a test for them. I mean, after playing three, I mean, Pitt wasn't really much of a, which, that's probably the best team you played. You played a Kent State team and you played a Georgia State team. All three of those games at home. Now you're going on the road. So that's. I mean, I think they'll be all right. I think they'll probably win by 2 touchdowns. So, that'll be good. I mean, I've come to the conclusion now with Penn State. I mean, as much as I hate them, I'd rather see them in the playoff than Michigan or USC. So, in a way, I'm kind of rooting for Penn State to win, to get in the playoff, because if it's not Penn State, it's either going to be Michigan or USC. And Ohio State is not going to make it to the Big Ten Championship like I hoped. I mean, Oklahoma just exposed them. They exposed Ohio State. And I don't think Ohio State's going to beat Michigan in the last game of the year. I just really don't. I don't think Ohio State's going to beat Michigan in the last game of the year. I mean, I thought they would be very good. I thought that Kevin Wilson will be a very good offensive coordinator for them. But, they just got deep-throated by the Sooners. Deep-throated. And that's another team I think will make the playoff. Oklahoma. That's another good team. So, as I like to say, we'll see where that goes. Andrew commented, Morrow. Live chat action, ladies and gentlemen. Andrew commented, Morrow. Yeah, new season of Cake Boss coming up. All those Cake Boss guys are Giants fans. I thought they would be Jets fans. I thought they'd probably be Jets fans. I don't know. I mean, what? I mean, like, look, every time I look at somebody, I mean, like, I see a Giants fan, I'm like, you had another team that, I mean, they only had the greatest upset in Super Bowl history. Instead, you wanted to root for a piece of shit team. The Giants have had good players in the past. Don't get me wrong. They had Frank Gifford. They had Phil Simms. They had Lawrence Taylor. They had a bunch of, they had some pretty good guys. But, like, I mean, it's just not, it doesn't sit right. I mean, my hatred for the Giants, like, I think I hate the Giants more than an average Eagle fan does. But my hatred for the Giants kind of started when they were in the Super Bowl back in 2011, 2012, and people were rooting for them around here. I'm like, why the fuck are you rooting for the Giants? Well, the Patriots, they cheated against us, so we're gonna root for. You're telling me that you're gonna root for a division rival to get a Super Bowl, probably our oldest rival, and they, you're gonna root for them over the Patriots. I mean, the Patriots, yeah, they probably did steal a Super Bowl from us, and this is back a few years ago. So, I mean, we all know, obviously, know. I mean, what we know about the Patriots hasn't played out yet. But anyway, why? Why would you do that? I mean, I know sure as hell I will never root for the Cowboys. I will never root for any NFC East team in the Super Bowl. I don't care who the hell they're playing. I will never root for any NFC East team in the Super Bowl. Except for the Eagles. Thoughts on our pass defense for this week? Well, Chris Hawkinson. Chris, thanks for tuning in. I told him that he's a loyal listener. Our pass defense, it's going to start with the pass rush. I mean, the Giants' offensive line sucks. I mean, it's going to start with the edge guys, Cox and Graham. Cox and Graham are just going to hopefully ram through Eric Flowers and, all these other guys. Eric Flowers and I think maybe was it Justin Pugh? I forget. I'm never good with the line anyway, but hopefully their edge guys, if it's Eric Flowers, I mean, John Jerry sucks. Eric Flowers sucks. They're gonna have to throw in a backup for Bobby Hart, and then you have Pugh, and then they got Richburg too. So I mean, just trying to. I mean, their offensive line, other than Justin Pugh and Weston Richburg, is just so bad. It's so bad. So they're gonna it all starts with the pass rush. Now when we get to the secondary, Doug Peterson did not announce any starters. As for some of these defensive backs, but you want to avoid. I mean, Odell Beckham, he probably might be dangerous, but my fear is the dump pass. Eli's going to dump it off through some screens. He's not going to really go deep a lot. He does have Evan Ingram. They might use Shepard. They might use Marshall, depending on if Marshall decides to catch the ball or not. Hopefully he decides to just drop it. But, it's they're gonna have to put pressure on Eli, and if they put pressure on Eli, they get in his face. He's gonna surrender. He will surrender, and that's what I think will win this game. Now, I mean, here I'm on my soapbox a little bit here. And then the offense has to do their job. I mean, I want to see Wentz throw the ball to Jeffrey I know the Giants have a very good front four, not the fronts. The linebackers are they're nothing to write home about. But I'm kind of worried about Pierre Paul. I'm worried about. I mean, you're probably not going to run the ball up the middle because you have Snacks. Who else they got up there? They got Vernon. I mean, they got some. Their edge guys are very good. Vernon and JPP. So, I mean, Lane Johnson and Jason Peters are going to have their hands full over there. But they're going to have to figure out a way to draw some passes, maybe run on the outside. But, yes, you do have the factor of the edge guys with Vernon and JPP. And then the problem with running up the middle is you're going to run into Snacks. I mean, Snacks is probably one of the best run stoppers in the league. In my opinion, he might be the best in the league. So they're gonna have to figure out some ways to maybe get the ball. I mean, they should run the ball a little bit more. I mean, maybe Giants are probably looking at, okay, maybe Philly's gonna pass here. They're gonna throw the ball a lot. Of course, I mean, they only had how many rushes last week? Maybe they only had so few rush plays. Giants are gonna go prepare for a pass. They're going to prepare for the pass, and then you look at their secondary. Even without Janoris, you got Eli Apple. You got one of the best safeties in the league, Landon Collins. So, I mean, I feel like the Eagles might find a way to score some points on offense, and plus even with the good run stoppers that the Giants do have, I want to see him run the ball, especially to LeGarrette Blount in the red zone or on a short yardage play, because that's what he's there for. And and if you don't use him, he's going to want to get out. He's going to want to leave. He's going to want to go back to New England. Maybe I mean, the Giants haven't played the Patriots since 2015, and they didn't have Snacks then. So, Snacks played for the Jets, so they played them twice a year. But maybe LeGarrette Blount might be a tough guy to bring down might be a tougher guy to bring down as opposed to Darren Sproles, who's quicker. So, they're just, I think they might figure out a way, but I think we're going to dominate on the defensive side of the ball with the pass rush. I don't think the corner is going to play well, but I think we're going to dominate on the pass rush. On the opposite side of the ball, I think they're going to be limited to maybe 20 points. So that's what you're going to have to work with. But, if you want to make it tough for the Giants to stop the run, if you want to run up the middle, run Blount. If you want to go at the outside, run Sproles. Simple. And then you got your. I want to. And like I said yesterday, I want to see Matt Collins. I want to see Aguilar a little bit more, and plus I want to see some Alshon Jeffrey action. Maybe because I have him on my fantasy team. But the Eagles are gonna have to mix around in the pass. Um, you know, I feel like it's a different story. I mean, like I feel like it's the same problem but different. Uh, like last week when I was watching Notre Dame. Notre Dame cannot pass. Like they're Brandon Wimbush, their quarterback, cannot pass. Like he had some issues passing the ball, so they ran and they worked for him. And then you got they can't pass. And then you got the Eagles who, they can run the ball, but their coach decides to pass. So it's different. And it's different. It's kind of funny. So you know, and also that leads me into who I think is going to have a big game on defense and who I think is going to have a big game on offense. Defense, I think the edge guys. I think Cox and Graham are going to have big games. Offense, I think this might be Carson. This might be Carson Wentz's probably. This might be Carson Wentz's big game. I think this might be his big game. I think I think he's coming home. I think he's motivated. I think he prepares very, very well. I think, and the fact that he's going to come home, like I said earlier, people that are probably going to this game from out of town, or this might be the first Eagles game in a while, or whatever the hell it is. People are going to want to see Carson Wentz play a home opener against a division rival, and a chance to put him away for the season. That place is going to go nuts on Sunday. That place is going to go nuts. People are going to want to be at the Link on Sunday. They will. They want to be at the Link on Sunday. And I think, it's not going to be too overwhelming for Carson Wentz, but it's going to give him a chance. He's going to be like, oh, shit. These people really do. These people are really excited for us. These people want to see us put this team away. These people want to see us go 2-1, be in very good shape. 2 good wins, 2 division wins. And then your only loss was probably a tough loss and a tough, But, I think the Eagles should feel almost relieved, and Carson Wentz should be relieved to be at home, to play division rival. The fact that they get to throw on the midnight green jerseys again, the fact that, it's a Sunday in South Philly, and they got to beat this team. It's a sense of relief, but it's a sense of urgency at the same time. And I want to, I think that everyone will be on pace. I think that place is going to go nuts. It's going to make it tough for the Giants to convert on third down. It's going to make plus, the defense gets a few sacks in, and, Carson gets them on the board in their first 2 drives. It's going to be a very hard game for the Giants to win. It's going to be a very hard game. It's going to be a very hard game for them to win. And, they'll go up, they'll take that nice little drive up the turnpike, feeling like shit. Back to East Rutherford. So, but they better be motivated. The Eagles better be motivated to play and just hype, just flat out hype to play this game on Sunday. They better be flat out hype to play this game. I know I would. I wanted to go to this game. Unfortunately, tickets were very high. But, that place is just going to go nuts. People are going to go in the stadium drunk after tailgating. People are going to be, it's just going to be, maybe there might be a few DUIs on the 76, 95, AC, whatever it may be. Maybe there might be a few DUIs, a couple accidents on the way home. I'm talking about the way home. Like maybe 76 will be very backed up. Like I see, I probably see maybe. I'll take an over under here. All right, I say this Google is probably going to be backed up at least an hour after the Eagles game, especially after Sunday night. If the Eagles win, people are going to go back and they're going to tailgate some more. They're going to get some more beers in them. They're going to, they're going to. I mean, they're going to probably fall down. They probably won't even get in their car. They'll probably fall down. Maybe get maybe get maybe get in the parking lot down there. I don't know what's gonna happen. We got to get the Eagles win first. Well, that place is gonna be nuts. And I hate how all the Giants fans, and I see it on Instagram, I see it, on YouTube. They're like, some of these Giants fans that went to the Color Rush game last year, like, Philly's not that bad. Oh, Philly, Philly's not that bad. They get a bad rap. Maybe New York's not that man. When they walk in that was a weeknight game. The Eagles, they weren't. It didn't really mean nothing to us. Giants fans just went down there just to see their team try and clinch a playoff spot. And when they go this game Sunday, a September warm regular season home opener, week 3, with the chance to put them away, Giants fans are going to get their ears full. Maybe a couple spilled beers, maybe a couple, trying to think, fights. There's going to be some fights. There's going to have to be a fight or two at the game. Maybe a license plate guy might get his hair cut. Maybe the license plates will be crushed and scattered across the parking lot. I'm just thinking of scenarios here. Like what kind of shit is going to go down there? What kind of shit's going to go on? Maybe people just running into the to AT&T station, just absolutely loaded, trying to get in the trying to get into the front of the subway. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be brutal. In a good way. It's going to be brutal in a good way. Now, imagine if we win the Super Bowl, like, how freaking crazy this place would be. How crazy. Oh, boy. Hopefully that's pretty. Philly has no class. You know what? Listen. Philly, I think we're the freaking classiest city. I think we are. Like, you got cities like, I think Boston's worse than us. Legit, Boston's worse than us they're just assholes up there. They're assholes. Maybe because they win now, and they're like the drunk Irish guys. People burned Isaiah Thomas jerseys, and he devoted himself to the city of Boston. And they burned it. Like, that's no class. That's no class at all. Look at Chase Utley. We love him. You don't see anybody burning any Chase Utley jerseys because they went to the Dodgers. Jimmy Rollins. Now, maybe when we played at the Vet, there were some fights. Maybe there's some instances where, we probably had no class. But, like, people bring up the same old, the Santa Claus thing. Here's the things that, people from Philly, people not from Philly hate about us, or usually say. This is their cop-outs. That we throw snowballs at Santa Claus, that we have no Super Bowls, and we have a jail in our stadium. Give me a break. And I kind of like that we're a little hostile. I do. I like that we're a little hostile. I like it. That's what fans should be. They should have a chip on their shoulder. They should be a little rough. I'm not talking about like pick a fight with every other freaking Cowboys, Giant, whatever team there is, but like, be loud. Love your team, love the game. And to be honest with you, I listen to a lot of out of Philly radio. I listen to a lot of like national radio, New York radio, Washington radio, Boston, Baltimore radio, and they talk their cities, but I don't think they don't know as much as we do. I think the average, like maybe a Baltimore host has almost the same or less knowledge of a regular Philadelphia fan. Just does. People know their sports here. People know their sports here. I think we're the best sports city in America. I think we are. I'm not saying hands down, but I think we are the best sports city in America. There's one little thing that budges me about Philly, though. The fact that when a team other than the Eagles gets good, they get hyped. Like, no one's a devout Philly. You have your view, but like no one watches the Phillies on a daily basis unless they're good. No one watches the Flyers on a if they're good. If they're not good, no one watches the Sixers if they're not good. But they'll watch the Eagles through and through. That's the one thing. Like, I will watch every team, no matter how good or how bad they are. That's just how I am. The Phillies. The Phillies have the second, third worst record in baseball. I went to 10 games this year. I watched every night. I watched the Sixers in 2015, 2014 when they were terrible, and we were in the middle of the process. Sure, they won a 10-game winning streak, and they shit the bed. Yes, that's the one thing I have an issue with the city. But with the Eagles, you gotta watch them good or bad. It's just how it is. It's how it always will be. Most likely. That's what it is. All right. As we move towards the end, we'll do the college football picks, top 25, and then we will bring on with the pros. I was right with my pick last night. Well, I wasn't really right with the pick, but I was right of who won with LA and San Francisco. LA, that was a good football game that both those teams played last night. San Fran, my boy Carlos Hyde, I have him in fantasy, put up 21 points. It was pretty nice to see. So they'll play that. That was the guy. And they wore the color rush uniforms last night. So yeah, that was all right. That's the kickoff to week 3. I didn't preview South Florida and Temple. I didn't. I didn't really I didn't pick that game, but I would have picked South Florida anyway, and they ended up killing Temple. So let's just move on with college football picks. Picks. All right. By the way, if Notre Dame wins tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised if they found themselves in the rankings. Okay. Temple, they got killed by South Florida. Utah, Arizona, I got Utah. NC State, FSU, I got FSU. UNLV and Ohio State, I got the Bucks. Kent State, Louisville. Louisville after that lost to Clemson. In Virginia Tech, I got the Hokies. Boston College, Clemson, USC, Cal. Hopefully Cal wins, but to be smart, I got USC. Bama and Vandy, I got Bama. Toledo, Miami, and Florida, I got Miami. Michigan, Purdue, I got the Wolverines, unfortunately. Oklahoma and Baylor, I got Oklahoma. That's a Big 12 matchup. Syracuse, LSU, Florida, Kentucky. I got Florida. San Diego State Air Force. I got San Diego State. Nevada, Washington State. I got Washington State. Auburn, Missouri. I got Auburn. Washington, Colorado. I got the Huskies. Oregon, Arizona State. I got Oregon. And now we get to the big 3 games of the weekend, which includes Penn State, Iowa, Mississippi State, Georgia, and Oklahoma State and TCU, which are 2 ranked teams. Also, the Georgia Mississippi State is 2 ranked teams playing. In that game with Georgia and Mississippi State, I got the Bulldogs playing at home. They'll be wanting that. Hopefully, they'll get that win because Notre Dame needs to win to get into a good bowl game. TCU, Oklahoma State. I got Oklahoma State. They're just playing great football. And then Penn State, Iowa. Penn State's going to beat them by 2 touchdowns. So that will be that on their first road game of the season. So they're the college football top 25 picks for the week. And now we move into the NFL picks for this week. Just trying to get to the thing. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Okay. Here we go. NFL Weekly Pick'em. Play now. All right, Baltimore and Jacksonville. That's the London game. That is on at 9:30 on Sunday morning. So when you wake up, there is football. And I got the Baltimore Ravens. They are just playing. Their defense is very good. So I will pick Baltimore in that game. Houston and New England. New England's going to come back home after a win in New Orleans. So I will pick the Patriots. Cleveland, Indy. Wow. This might be. I'll tell you what. This has a chance to probably be the best game of the day. Okay. Because you got 2 shitty teams. The Colts, I'd pick them if they had Andrew Luck. And even with, look, I remember back in 2011, 2012, where the Colts were dead awful and they didn't have Peyton. I feel like that's kind of been the way with the Colts. Like, if they don't have their franchise quarterback healthy or available, they'll lose. So I'm going to pick Cleveland with my boy DeShone Kizer. And I have never thought I would say this in my entire life. I will pick Cleveland with DeShone Kizer, my boy from Notre Dame. I pick the Browns over the Colts. So that's that game. Jets, Dolphins. I think this is Jets home opener, but I got Miami. They'll just steamroll. Minnesota without Sam Bradford again against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, I think they'll take care of them. Denver, Buffalo. I got Denver. They're at Buffalo, but still, they'll win that game. New Orleans, Carolina. Carolina's, this might be another pretty good football game because Carolina lost a big playmaker, Greg Olsen. New Orleans is just fine. They're just downgrading, but I do think they'll get the win. Pittsburgh, Chicago, Pittsburgh's just going to steamroll them. Atlanta, Detroit, that's another good football game that will take place this weekend. Because Detroit's 2-0, but they take care of the Falcons, and they're playing at home too. Throw that in there. They're playing at home. They take care of the Falcons. They're the real deal. I'm picking Detroit in this game. I think they might do it in their home stadium. Tennessee and Seattle. I'm picking Tennessee to win this game. Seattle's offense hasn't really gotten rolling yet. So Cincinnati, Green Bay. Green Bay's just gonna shit on them. Kansas City. LA Chargers, Kansas City, I think we'll take care of them. Oakland, Washington, Sunday Night Football. Oakland's they're going to be too much for the Redskins to handle. And Monday Night Football, Arizona against Dallas. I got the Cardinals winning this game. I mean, the Cowboys, I hope, they might be banged up. And now we get to the pick, the big one. Eagles versus the New York Giants. Now, the last 2 weeks, I picked against the Eagles. Okay. I picked against them week 1. I picked against them week 2. I was 1-1 with my Eagles picks. I feel like if I pick the Eagles, they'll lose. They'll lose to the Giants. I feel like if I pick them, they'll lose. Okay, I mean, that's the kind of thing that's kind of bothering me about this a little bit. I'm gonna have to make a pick here. I'm not gonna hype this up for nothing. So the smart money will go to the Eagles. I will say that the smart money goes to the Eagles. And you know what? That's what I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna pick us in this game. If we lose, blame it on me. Blame it on me. Blame it on me. That wall, right behind you. There'll be a nice big ass hole in there if we lose. Like, it might be even the size of the freaking wall. That's how big it will be. So that is what's going to happen if we lose this game. All right. So that's it for the podcast for this week. We'll come back Monday. Hopefully it's a victory Monday, Tuesday, probably not Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Hopefully we'll get all some stuff. Hopefully I'll get a podcast on Monday recapping the game. But we need this one on Sunday. We need this win. The division needs this win. The Giants fans, you might want this win. I mean, I think it's a win-win for you guys because here's the deal. If you win this game, you're going to get on a roll and you're going to be as advertised. If you lose this game, you're going to go on a losing streak. You're going to fix your problems. You're going to have to start. I mean, you might get your new quarterback. You're going to probably get a new quarterback. You're going to probably get your new line. I mean, Jerry Reese might get fired. So, I mean, that's how you want to look at it as a Giant. If you're any Giants fans decide to listen. So, yeah. So, thanks for tuning in. Got a good have a good weekend. And so,